Hello everybody, this is Beard Jester here with another cast. Thank you for joining me on my channel. And what we have here is a PvZ matchup between Complexity's RSVP, spawning as the red Protoss in the left center, and on the bottom near center is iSTop. Now, top is a Master Zerg player. Complexity's RSVP being a Grandmaster, currently ranked, I believe it was 22 for his region, 106 I think for worldwide. So he is definitely no amateur here. So this should be a very interesting match, even against a Master League Zerg. Always a good matchup, I think. Honestly think Zerg versus Protoss is probably the best matchup. But then again, I think some people would argue with that. At any rate, if you've been watching my videos, some of you have mentioned to me that I have a poor mic. Hopefully that will change when I go to the store today, buy the mic. But right now I'm kind of stuck, so I decided I wanted to cast one more video with this crappy mice just to get a feel. And here we got RSVP being a little annoying with the probe. It's almost tempting. It's absolutely tempting top to just pull his drone to try to snipe that one probe, which actually buys him time. But I don't think it buys him 50 minutes worth of time, so I don't see a point to that. Anyways, this is really good right here. Having this other overlord, the second one, come over here to scout for any cheeses. Maybe RSVP is going to lay down the pylon. Maybe he'll do a wall off here. So this is going to work out really well. Of course, RSVP scout the pool first, and here he is. He's going to try to prevent that from going down, and he successfully does so. Nice. Sometimes there's the pylon there. Always a huge annoyance for the fast expanding Zerg. But as we can see here, RSVP has opened up with a fast forward span, and Top's going to be able to see that. So once he gets his second down, it won't be long before he gets his third down. That's usually the reaction, but we'll see what Top does for this matchup. Cannon coming down. We will eventually see a gateway or two coming up, or maybe a gateway in Cybernex core. Although this is rather a huge base to cover. I have seen a couple of Protoss players, they'll wall off this as opposed to this, thus securing them the third. But as we can see here, Top has already gone ahead and expoed, having been delayed for so long as natural, since he scouted the fast forward command, decided that he was going to go for a third anyways, so placing it here really is not that big of a deal. But as we see this, and he's finally got his natural down under 5 minutes. Brilliant play. RSVP not liking the supply depot here. Now this is the MLG version for Metalopolis, in which as everyone probably knows by now, and it's even been adjusted on the ladder now, is that it can't spawn in close positions on an MLG map. But as you can see here, he's opted to wall off this much, forcing Zerg to come this way, but it looks like he'll slowly get some sort of wall off over here. Now looking at the worker count, at about 5 minutes 45 seconds, 5 minutes 50, we'll just say 6 minutes, we have RSVP at 30, way ahead of, not way ahead, but a few probes ahead of Top. But I don't, with 3 bases, it's really not going to be long. He does need to get his workers to transfer over here. Be nice. 6 or 7 of them. Hopefully we'll see that here soon. We do see a roach warning coming down for for top, so we could possibly be dealing with, where is that tech building? Did he cancel? Oh no, completely blind. But anyway, there's the Roach Warren coming down for top, so we could possibly be seeing some Roach and Fester play, or maybe he'll try to pump out mass Roaches and try to push in. Uh, we'll see here in a second. RSVP definitely grabbing up a lot of gas here. The gateway's coming down, and we do have a Robox Bay coming down. Robox Facility, my apologies. Always seem to get that wrong. It's weird. But Robotics Facility is coming down, so we should see an observer. It's probably going to be cranked out, and I believe he scouted the Roach Warren. He has not. Alright. But yeah, it looks like he's settling into a, after this fast forward span, looks like he's settling into a triple gateway robo facility, and here's the aforementioned observer. Once he scouts his Roach Warren, we're probably going to see, or most likely going to see, a couple of Immortals coming out. And of course, here's the Guardian Sentries that's going to be able to force field that ramp. And I don't know the range, but it's definitely not going to be able to force field this should Top decide that he wants to mess up a Zergling run by. As we can see here, Top is doing really well. He has 2 bases up and running, 3 bases up and running, no problem. About 9 minutes into the game, and worker count is just exponentially just rising for Top. He has already 60, just about 60 drones versus RSVP's 53. And as I mentioned before, there is the Immortal coming out, and looks like RSVP is going to try to match base for base with Top and going for a third of his own. I don't believe, nope. Top has not scouted that yet, so, but once he does, if he does, it's going to be very interesting to see what his response will be, knowing that his opponent is going for a third and trying to secure it. Good idea will probably be to go for a fourth, or to try to mass up enough troops to deny this expansion. Either way, Top would know that he has enough time to really settle down if to go in either direction, because yes, RSVP is getting more sentries on the field. Yes, he does have stalkers and Immortal out there, but at this point, Top's economy is such as he's already floating so high that he just he can mass a lot of Zerglings and a few Roaches and just march in there. But with so many cans going down, just might not work out. RSVP investing so much already into this expansion. So, but here we are. Zergling Rumba is gonna kind of poke his head in. It wouldn't really surprise me if Top disengages after he sees what's there. But we'll see what he manages to do. Macro hatch going down for Top. Of course, RSVP is going to be ready for his push. He knows his push is coming. His server's been following around this tiny invasion force. Instead of going all the way around, he runs his lings around, which is very great to try to hit the mineral line. And he takes down this force, so that way he could just easily. Now, instead of losing his Roaches to his force field, which a lot of Zerg players just let that happen, he's going to actually just walk away from that, which is completely fine, because now his Zerglings are running just rampant across his mineral line. Looking over here, he's already killed off 7 workers. But RSVP doesn't care. He's still he is now ahead of Top again, running off of 3 bases. So this looks to be a very macro-heavy game. Top is going to need to pull something out, and it looks like he's going to try to lay on the pressure. He's massed a bunch of Roaches, and this could possibly do well. This is going to do a lot of damage before RSVP can do something about it. He is hosting a two-pronged attack. Colossus is on the field, so those Zerglings are in trouble. But here we are going to see RSVP actually retreat. It wouldn't surprise me if Top tries to go back in with this evading force. Here we are. Hopefully, Top can do enough damage before he gets eaten up. Yes, he is taking some damage from those Colossi, but it's fine. He's about to take down this Nexus. Nexus goes down, and it wouldn't surprise me if he tries to make a retreat, although he is surrounded right now, so it looks like he's probably actually going to lose these roaches. That's fine, because, hey, there's enough roaches over here. And he is getting that +2, and then a +1 attack. Inspired is coming up, so we should be seeing perhaps Corruptors in response to the Colossus, or we'll probably see, at the very least, we'll definitely see a handful of Mulas for harassment. As RSVP is not really going to be prepared. It looks like he might be laying down a couple cannons here, but we'll see what he does with this pylon. It could just be there for supply measurement, although yeah, it's most likely there for supply measurement. Now, if you look over here, try going for that fourth. Denied. And as you can see here, he's trying to solo again into the third, but RSVP is going to try to intercept him. He loses those links, those Colossi. It's very interesting, but Top himself is getting fourth. Proxy pylon, Zealots are going to be taking this tower. Much needed vision if he's going to be able to handle Top, because Top has been able to run rampant, especially in response to RSVP's continuous expansions, and the fact that he's still trying to secure his third, or at this point Top is going to be working on his fourth. As you can see here, at 199 supply versus RSVP's 160, this might not look too good for RSVP, and if so long as Top doesn't get careless, doesn't throw his workers away, and plans his right, he's going to be able to take on RSVP. Now, a couple things here. He's going to have to be careful for the force fields. Force fields is definitely what turns the tides in games for Protoss, and see here, he needs to pull back. If he can, he should pull back. There's still some gaps, and as you can see here, his roaches are just absolutely confused, not quite sure what to do. He should pull back before the gap started closing, because there was a gap here and a gap here, and it just wasn't working out. And if he could try to get some Zerglings, and yes, he might lose some Zerglings, but he needs to force the sentries to use their force fields. Now, Colossi are going to come in and try to exterminate this little fourth infestor in here. Top says, I don't really care. I'm going to send a handful of my roaches over to try to harass you while you try to take me on. But RSVP is not having that. And as you can see here, neither stop. So it looks like Top might very well get the surround on this, although cliff walking and Colossi, I don't think he's going to be able to trap that unless he gets surround. And at this point, his stalkers are doing pretty well over here, so there's no surround for that. Other side, we got the fourth coming down, and Top is just being a little careless with his units right now. As you can see, he's lost so much to those force fields, and he just keeps letting himself run into it. And these stalkers are going to be able to mop up these stalkers, although that was very nice blink from RSVP himself. His Immortals hard countering these roaches easy, and it looks like very surprisingly, or maybe not so surprisingly for the more experienced side, but RSVP was able to mop that up really quickly and actually handle it efficiently. As you can see here, he still has most of his forces. Now on the flip side, Top is amassing more roaches, but will he have a force strong enough to really counter what's about to happen. He's definitely, I believe he's definitely going to lose his fourth, even if he engages with these roaches. It's not very ideal, but he needs to get it done. Prime target here will be hitting the sentries and the immortals. As you can see here, he's not focus firing when he could have easily taken out a little bit more and done more damage. But as I said earlier, he is going to be losing his fourth. He needs to cancel the spine crawler. That's not going to do anything for him, but spine crawler still goes down. It'll get a couple pokes out, but it's going to die in short measure. There it goes. Taking control of the tower over here. I believe control of the tower is just so crucial because you need to have that map control, and you get map control through vision and through Zerg-wise mobile units such as the Zergling. Engagement here. This is actually kind of works well for the roaches, as well, there was only 3 zealots, but if there had been more, it definitely, if they had gotten this close run, definitely would have hurt those roaches. Now we do have board rate on the field right now, and with no AA from top, these board rates are going to be able to do a lot of damage. Wow, but as we see here, doesn't seem to be that top is worried about that. His response, mass more roaches. You see he's cooking up 23 more. RSVP says, forget that, I'm going to build another Stargate. I'm going to get more Colossus and board rays out. And this is actually a pretty decently healthy unit composition. The Colossus not so effective against roaches as much as they are against Zergling and other Hydras, but they're pretty good. Now, top does have the Spire up, and he's had it for quite a while, but we haven't seen anything come from that. I would have liked to see Corruptors or Mutas on the field by now. I'm very surprised that he didn't get either in any sort of numbers, because it's going to help him a lot against these Colossi. But this is the G, or in this case, just a G, good, or game, whatever. But what really surprises me is that top, the game was kind of the favor toward top. He just wasn't playing very smartly. I don't know what, maybe he was intimidated by complexity, RSVP, or just intimidated because he knew he was playing Grandmaster. But we'll see if he'll be able to make a comeback. He didn't play bad. There's just a couple of not so smart decision making that he made. So we'll move on to the second match. This is a best of 3, and we'll see if top can top his last play. Thanks for joining me. Please join me for the second matchup. Chester out.